So, last session, you guys woke up that morning and had a discussion with Smithy and the crew he was standing with. Completely ignored the severity of a severed head. Had a large discussion of the dual hands, which led you to eventually be given a prototype land ship, which you spent the time driving your vehicle up. Bellini had cooked a wonderful breakfast. Finally, making your way to the underpass into the HQ for the camp near Cherrytown. You were able to get your way in through the back entrance, which instead of being locked and secured, was torn off the walls. Entering, you saw 4 of the Watchers hanging from the second floor of the library. After doing some research, you found some various tomes written in languages none of you recognized, and decided that it was time to move forward after getting some information on the Raven Queen. Fedwin learned that books are hard, as everyone else cleared the floors relatively quickly. When everyone was finally out of the library's torment, Bellini almost died and fell back to the first floor, but luckily to a rope toss from Theo, was able to catch it and make his way back onto the platform. As soon as you move through there, you've noticed that there are dismembered bodies, blood-soaked mahogany floors, and it looked as though something the size of a direwolf was what tore them apart.
But it was real mahogany.
And that's the important thing.
It was real mahogany. As you moved forward, you eventually arrived in front of what Theo would be most comfortable calling a mess hall, hearing various sounds of rowdy companionship, breaking bottles, sounding as if they are tearing a place apart, but in celebration. Bellini specifically heard one voice that torments his nightmares.
Y'all ready to smack a bitch?
Well, of course. That's why we're here, I think.
Oh, there's gonna be a female dog here.
Hey Theo, I want to do something kind of sneaky first. Can you help me?
I'll get the lube ready.
I want to find like a vantage point on Grinny. We need to like scope out this room. It sounds like there's a lot of them in there.
Would I be able to know where to find a vantage point, since this place is very similar to the other compounds that I have been in?
Yes, you do know that each location on either side of this room, following the entire stretch of it, is a overhang, balcony that is open-faced to the top. The way you get to those balconies, though, are through the side rooms in the mess hall as well. They do have small little alcoves on the top. You would be able to make your way there. In terms of getting there without entering this room, there are a couple ways, but you know that these places aren't necessarily uniform from headquarter to headquarter, so it might take you a little bit longer to find those entrances.
Okay, so I'm going to say to Bellini, well, not all the compounds are built exactly the same, but I think I might be able to get away there, but it could take a while, and we might get spotted. But it's up to you. This is your mission, after all.
Can we sneak and try to get like a peek in without getting seen? Because I mean, we probably want to know how many people are in there.
Oh, 100%.
Were we quiet enough so that we could sneak in and look?
Yeah, like with the noise you guys have made, from what it sounds like, they've been making more noise. You're essentially hearing what would be a celebration party. They probably think they've cleared this place out. It's time to reap the benefits.
Can we do a sneak and then perception check or something so that we can like see? I want numbers. I want to know what we're out to go against.
Would you let me create like a simple trap using like eggs for like a lubricant to have the enemy like slide on when they come out of the door?
Yeah, sure. So you crack open eggs, and do you want to just roll me just like, it's going to be a simple survival check, either survival or performance. It's your call.
Let's say survival. That's going to be 15.
Cool. 15. So, 15, how much time are you spending on this?
Like not too long, about 5 minutes maybe.
Okay, so in the 5 minutes, they'll say you get like a half a pound of egg whites. So you've got a half a pound of eggs separated. So you've got half a pound of yolks, half a pound of egg whites. I know that's not the exact ratio.
Waste for the yolks.
You could keep the yolks. You could emulsify them.
Ah, yes. Just let me bust out my Ziploc bags to hold them.
Ziploc. Ye old Ziploc. Like, is it made out of linens? Because it'll leak out of the linen.
Plasticized linens. For some reason,
No,
they still
I'm
have
assuming
plastic.
you just got like a wine skin of like egg yolks.
But still, like that shitty fucking Ziploc retaining system. Like,
So yeah, you've got whatever you decide to store it in. We'll
I'm guessing we have like some sort of bottle?
Okay, yeah, you've got an empty bottle of what soon will be emulsified egg yolks. I mean, you could make hollandaise eventually if you really wanted to.
can I like kind of grab Polly's hand, kind of put him as close to the door without him being seen, so he can do the perception check into the room? And this is by helping him. We're like, you got this, Polly. I'm like rubbing his shoulders.
Okay.
You don't seem like you have to really worry about being sneaky as long as you don't just kick the door open with fireworks.
Oh no, Bellini's serious now.
Am I doing a perception check now?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. 17 plus 5.
So when you crack
22.
Yeah. So when you crack open the door,
Oh, does that mean I have advantage?
yeah,
Roll twice?
you have advantage, yes.
The second one's no good. Take the first one.
Cool. So with Bellini rubbing your shoulders and getting out that weird knot you've had in your neck for a while, all of a sudden you just open your eyes and you're not focused on that pain in your shoulder, and you crack open the door, and looking around you see dozens of various patrons of various races. It looks just like a mishmash of a army that has been able to take this place over. You see various beasts from across Mysteria lazily watching the chaos and oddly finding comfort. So you can tell these creatures are most likely tamed. When your eyes bounce from the corner to corner, you focus on the edge of the room and you see a pile of dismembered corpses with a pool of just crimson ooze filling the cracks of the floorboard. Glancing up to see a single lean, pale-faced maiden, but you see her arms are covered in a bit more fur than normal. And Bellini, you kind of cracking over his shoulder to see, you see even underneath that very matted fur are countless grins branded in on the arms as she sits and just jokes and laughs at the chaos she's standing over.
That must be her! Spinny!
Grinny.
Yes, Hinny!
And as you say that, you see her throw a head like a volleyball and just hear, "Heads up!"
Well, let's get this witty person.
Oh, that was clever. That was clever.
There's dozens of them in there.
Yes, you see dozens. It looks like the most unorganized militia that you've ever seen. It's as if you just took a bunch of drunken bar fights and stuck them in one room.
You know what? I have an idea. Why don't we get myself at a very high peak and then congregate all those people into a small area and I fall on them.
I feel like that's not the best plan because you might die.
And just split half of them. Just splatter them everywhere.
I mean, wait.
I weigh, realistically, 1,300 pounds if a certain god allowed it. However, I think I weigh about 700.
I have a different idea. Hey, how many beasts were there?
By counting, you saw various beasts of various sizes. You could probably say about a half dozen. Mostly creatures you haven't really seen before, but it looks like 2 giant frogs, a black bear, and 2 dire wolves are just
I
kind
think
of
she's dying.
lazily...
Give her a second.
It's the Rona. It's fine.
Roughly how many people were there again?
Dozens.
In terms of what you saw, there were a lot of them that were bound and bandaged and just in corners. But in terms of who were freely moving around, you saw probably a dozen on either side of the balconies. And on the actual ground floor itself, you've seen in various states of sobriety probably about 24, but it seems none of them are really focused on anything in particular.
Hey, who here has like arranged attacks and can be sneaky about doing them?
Look no further. Hello, Fedwin.
Okay, because it looks like Grinny is controlling the animals. I think if we just try to like DPS her from the door, and then I realize that's nerd shit, and then I'm like, if we just try to like kill her as fast as possible, I think we could maybe just cause a lot of chaos, hide behind the door, and then watch animals tear into the people. Thoughts? And I'm like pointing at everyone.
Well, it's a good plan. I'm just not sure how we reach her from behind the door.
Did someone say from behind?
Oh, no. Like, we'll peer into the door, stealth, and then just kind of, like, back away, continue to stealth. So, DPS from door, I mean hit them from the door and then sneak?
Yeah, I think that's the best idea. I get sneak attack bonuses when I surprise them, so yeah.
Yes, because of the shame for having someone sneak up on them. This makes perfect sense.
I've been struck. How dare I lose focus?
Yeah, so it's only like 1d6 of physical pain. The rest is just emotional. Of like, how did you get behind me?
Precisely.
Bellini, what is Grinny into? What is she like? What makes her happy?
Being a bitch and stupid puns. I
So,
spit
do
on
you
the
think
ground.
we could come in as a sort of act that she hired, and we all come in with our puns and our jokes, and she thinks we're all part of this act, and then we stab her.
I am very, very worried that that whole room will then turn on us. I don't know if we have the physical prowess to overcome dozens and then a half dozen animals.
That being said, several of them appear to be wounded.
This is true. I mean, is there an option of like waiting for them to be more singled out?
I've got it! What if one of us knocks on the door claiming to be a delivery man with a package for Grinny? She comes to the door, we lure her outside, and then BAM! We get her.
Well, wouldn't we need to know the postal code for this area then?
No.
Well, how would she think that we are real male men if we don't have the actual postal code for this area?
Well, this is the olden days.
Actually,
people
Theo
didn't
might
use
know it because,
addresses.
he must have gotten
they
his packages
used
mailed
They
here.
wrote someone's name.
Sorry. I had a fun idea. I just message Grinny and say, I'm here to settle a score.
Wait, do you just go ahead and do this, or is this your idea?
No, this is my idea. This is my full idea.
Fedwin would like to start climbing the wall so he can fall onto Grinny when she comes through the door.
Roll me an athletics check, please. And Bellini, I want you. What are your exact words?
I'm here to settle a score. You can reply to this message.
Oh, 16 plus 5, 21.
You somehow, with your hands and one leg and a stump, look at this semi-smooth wall and just kind of like maneuver your fingers and get about 10 feet above the door and are just...
Okay, good.
Polly is going to pretend to be one of the corpses.
Okay. Roll me deception or performance, whichever you want.
We'll go with deception. I'm equally bad at both. I got a natural 20!
Polly's fucking just a ghost.
You see Polly go, I'm just gonna pretend, and just see him take some of the blood from the mahogany, splash it, and fall over. And you guys are like, did Polly just die? Like, Polly looks as dead can be. What is the total number, Polly?
Oh, it's just a flat 20. I don't have any bonuses to either.
Okay, cool. So you, Bellini, send out this message, and you do have, obviously, a knowledge that is received, and what seems like hours have gone by. You finally get a response of a few moments of silence, and to finally get a receive of just, why don't you come out here and, settle it? As you can tell, could become a dismembered pile as I have it here. And then after a few moments of silence, I've missed you, Bellini.
I message Grinny and say, I know about the Raven Queen. How about you come out here? And then I tell her I'm in the wrong corridor. So not the one that we're in, but like a different door.
A few moments go by, and as you hear just silence kind of waiting, you eventually hear a door swing open wildly as you see this half-orc just charging forward, looking.
Sorry, where am I? Am I behind the door at this point?
Yes, so you, I would just assume, are behind a door. Fedwin, you said you wanted to be right over top of the door. And Bellini, where would you be?
I'd probably be just kind of off to the side, as hidden as possible.
Okay. The door swings open, and it's kind of the kind where, like, it slams the wall and starts just the momentum returning as closing the door behind it as he stumbles through. You see he's looking, but he's not really sure what he's looking for. This half-orc is roaming around as you see him run down the hallway at more of a drunken stumble. And as he kind of leaves,
I message her again and say, do you want me to make you like I made your last gang? I still have a score to settle, and they're all dead now.
you send off this message, and a few moments go by, and eventually the orc kind of like stumbles his way back, and she still hasn't responded to your message. Opens the door, you're all able to peer in. As the door swings closed, you hear, "Didn't find anything, sir." Door finally closes. A few moments go by. "I know you're close enough, Bellini." Pings in your head. "And really, hiding in the shadows, is that really how you want to avenge your beloved Vrain?"
I just stew for a moment. Just like,
Psst. Is she coming out?
She can't message me until I message her. That's not how message works. She's just gotta wait. Oh, no shit talking from her.
Psst. Bellini,
Yeah, Polly, what's up?
is she coming?
I'm trying to figure out how to get her out of...
And as soon as you say that, you hear this rowdy noise kind of silent, and eventually you hear the stomping of like a rhythmic beat, and just hear, "Bellini, Bellini." And it's more of becoming a chant as like you hear the drunken sounds roaring higher and higher.
Okay, so I'm just gonna message everyone and be like, alright, time to prepare for a fight. I don't think we're getting her out of here alone. I'm assuming everyone's like readying actions or something. And then I'm just going to... Oh wait, I still have an oil of slipperiness. I'm gonna dump it in front of the door.
Okay.
Like just...
Fedwin's gonna hold his position strong on the ceiling.
You see Fedwin's thighs tighten.
I would like to cast thaumaturgy to make the ground shake for a minute.
Ooh, okay.
Also, could I just cast it again to create an instantaneous sound that originates from a point of my choice? I want it to be a combination of a loud thud, like something large falling onto the ground, and horrifying blood-curdling screams originating from the center of the room we're in.
Of the room you're in. You want like a loud thud, the ground to shake, and then like a blood-curdling scream.
What?
Okay.
What?
And, if I may add, immediately after, I want in the voice of the scream someone to call Grinny's name. Perhaps the voice could mimic the Raven Queen's voice, being sort of a crow's caw.
Oh! Oh! Okay, so I've already put the oil all over the front of the door.
So you hear this loud thud, and you all feel the ground kind of quake for a moment. The doors even shake a little as this now more nasaled crow voice calls out for Grinny.
Ah! Ah!
And for half a moment, the chanting kind of sunders, as though everyone's more concerned on what's on the other side of this door. The double doors swing open, and you see as a few of these men start to step out and creep to look around.
Okay, so, do they slip on the oil that's in front of the door?
On the lube. Lube, please. It's not oil. It's egg yolk. Egg white lube.
So I rolled a 2 and a 10, so they're definitely going to. As they step out, you hear that cartoonish, like, whoop, and just A loud thud as you see them slide 10 feet further into the hallway. The doors are now kind of ajar. And you see the same half-orc that stumbled out the first time. And this elven-looking, but with a large gash on his eye, just laying flat, staring at the ceiling, and they're more just looking at their surroundings, and as they're trying to get up, they're more slipping as just in result.
Wouldn't they see Fedwin at this point if they fall right next to the door?
They would glance up.
Okay.
Then Fedwin falls on top of them, because fuck it, might as well kill them. As they are directly below me.
Can I subtle spell Cloud of Daggers on where Grinny is?
Yeah, you hear the little to which a moment later, Fedwin, how are you falling? Are you just like body slamming? Are you slamming down with your weapon?
Yeah, like full on, like the Jesus T pose coming down.
I'll say roll with advantage, and I'll take their dex off their armor. Roll to hit for both of them. This will be considered your surprise round.
Like, so 4 times? Okay, so do I roll
Yes,
4
4
times because of advantage?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I apologize, guys. The rolls were not in my favor. 10, 5, 3, and 2. I don't know how I could miss. Do I fall like that, like with my limbs, like in a Picasso style?
Maybe when you, like, released yourself from however you were being held, you just sort of, like, fell way not on top of them.
So what are the numbers with your strength? I'll say with your strength.
So strength is +3, so it'd be 13, 8, 6, and 5.
So you end up landing on one of them, and can you just do me, I'll say 2d6 worth of damage?
4 and a 3.
So 7 total. So you land on this creature, and like it fully is consumed under your torso. You land on the more elf-looking one, so as he mates eyes with you and you just creepily drop on him, he goes to block it, and as you're planning on hitting both, just because of how thin of the structure you're standing on, you weren't able to fall properly. So when you landed on the one, you tried to roll over and land on the other, but because of the oil of slipperiness, you more just like whale like spun and just turned in location, sending him off to the side, and the other one is now just right beside you, kind of making eye contact as you have...
Okay, so where did the lube get on my body?
I'm gonna say that you're just slippery. Like...
Okay, so like that means that no other big person can really like grab me now because I am all lubed up.
It'll be at disadvantage, but yes, that is the case. And Bellini, can you roll me your wild magic surge table now? Because you've got 10 rounds of that.
Oh boy. Oh, 8 and 00. Is that 8 or 80? I think that's 8. You cast Fireball as a 3rd level centered on yourself. Fuck. Does that get us all? Yeah, there's no way I can mitigate this, right?
No, it's your wild magic. You can't mitigate it.
Fuck. Alright, everyone ready to take a Fireball damage?
No, you don't know what's happening. You saw Bellini, like, throw subtle signs, and a cloud of daggers is now on Grinny.
Wait,
But
can I have said that I was, like, far enough in the back that I don't get everyone who's right by the front?
Sure, I will give that. I will give that.
Okay.
So, Bellini, as this wild magic starts building up this energy from down the hallway, you see these blades summon and start to whir as... can you roll damage for that, please?
Damage for Cloud of Daggers is what, 44? 7 damage.
7 damage. So as all of this is whirring, you hear what sounds like throwing corpses into what would be a metal grinder, just because she's standing on a pile of dismembered bodies. But you also hear a couple screams, and as this all happens, everything is twisting and turning. You hear, "Sharp as ever, Bellini!"
I message her, your jokes fucking suck, I hate you! But I'm like giggling a little.
And that was 7 damage?
Yeah. Are you gonna do the fireball damage for me, or...?
Yes. So Fireball, how much is that at a 3rd level?
Fireball is 86.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
8d6?
But I gotta do a dex save to see if I can have it. Which I got a nat 18 plus 3, so 21.
So you do pass it. You guys are. I did agree that you would be out of range, so it's only Bellini. Yeah. So that is 16, and I still have to roll another 4.
So Bellini's going down. I have 23 total.
26 halved, so 13.
Okay. Okay. So I'm down to 10.
That is what you are taking.
Okay.
So as these blades are spinning, you hear, and she kind of jumps off the pile of bodies as these blades start whirring and spinning. And after that sharp as ever pun comes out, you see Bellini just filled with rage. And all of a sudden a hot ember burns in his chest as he engulfs in flames. You see it wick around the walls. You see the bloodstains char into the mahogany. You see various corpses, just the smell of putrid flesh burning. As this all settles and the sound of just embers flickering as you watch them kind of fade themselves away. You hear from that room, as you all can see, Grinny is now standing, the fur on her arms charred. But as before, all smoke.
Oh, I hate you, 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 I hate you. I'm like just half going, I burnt my tongue, and then I just so hating this lady. I'm just doing like a small circle in a hidden spot. I'm just like, ooh, I hate her, she sucks. Rubbing my temples.
Bellini, you want to give me just a quick glance up at your hat for me?
Oh, yes.
You glance and those 3 beautiful feathers are now just stemmed quills.
Can I go into a rage? Is that
Oh,
possible?
no.
Can Bellini the sorcerer go into a rage?
Fedwin gladly gives Bellini one of his rages.
And you are still behind the door, yes. Polly, you have not been seen. The only one who actually is in line of sight right now is Fedwin, who is currently on the floor of slipperiness, as you see Grinny kind of cracking her knuckles as there's this roaring cloud of daggers behind her with various small cuts along her face, as you're watching this pile of bodies slowly get smaller and smaller as these daggers take their time through.
How
As
close
she
is
is
she to
now-
Fedwin?
She is about 40 feet away.
Okay, can Fedwin grab some of the egg whites and also throw them at her to try and get her lubed up?
No.
Okay.
Just a flat no on that one.
But Tom, we really want it.
All right, and this is where I'm going to have everyone roll me initiative.
I got a nat 1, so I still get a 4. Yeah, I get a 4 on initiative. Or I guess total. I got 4 total.
I got a 13.
Bellini's the last, and that makes sense.
And Theo, you got a
That would be an 8.
8. Polly?
15.
Cool. So out of everyone, the fake dead old man is the most agile and alert right now.
That tracks. After I got hit by the fireball, could I have bonus action taken my last health potion?
Yes, I will.
Or is that
I'll
not?
let you, once it's your turn, because now we are entering combat.
So scared I'm gonna die first turn now.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to mention, Bedwin, you still have enhance ability on you.
That is true. First being up is Grinny.
Does she take Cloud of Dagger damage?
Yes, she would take another round of Cloud of Daggers, so roll that damage as she leaves the zone.
4, 3, 4, 2. What'd that make?
13, yeah. So as she steps down from this now slowly jellifying pile of corpses just from the blades spinning and whirring, finally steps down, and Fedwin, you see she steps just far enough that the blades are essentially creating a fan of air on her neck, and she just stands and we can go round and round all day, Bellini, but if you come in here and face me, it'll be so much easier.
I am Bellini! I've grown!
Deception!
At disadvantage.
Okay, I rolled a 17 and an 11. And deception. Deception, I have a 0 to add to it, so it's a straight 11.
Sadly, I have defenders win because I got an 11 as well. And you see for half a second, she looks at everything and goes, No. I remember your size. You were itsy bitsy teeny weeny annoying little Bellini. You can't get all big, and I know you didn't lose your leg.
Yeah, like I'm stewing and like walking a circle. I just kind of stop and look over, like,
Hurry up and get in here. I'm tired of waiting, and I really love the color of the blood that, what was it? Rain spilled on that beautiful morning? I can still smell the dew that was left after. Just come in or I'll send my boys out. Those are your options.
So you essentially like the smell of iron? Because that's essentially what's in blood? It's not...
I'll spill yours
Why do you
next,
just say
big
iron?
boy.
Sarah, you're a bitch! Sarah, you're a bitch! Fuck yourself! Fuck you, Sarah! I hate you!
That's the Bellini I know. Quick to anger, and his wit as tall as he is.
Oh!
I stand up on my toes a little. I'm almost 2 feet. Fuck that bitch. That's tall in my family.
And as you see, she's more building in anger. You're watching as the hair is growing on her face and hear various cracking. Now I'm getting tired of waiting. And as she's now talking, the room is more building as this energy is building up in the room. There's more chanting. And eventually, you see as she takes her turn to become more hairy, and her hands elongate with very thick nails now. As Polly, it is your turn. She still thinks you're just a corpse.
How close am I to her?
You probably have the vaguest line of sight and probably 50 to 60 feet away.
Hypothetically, if I were to cast a ranged spell attack, do you think she would see it, or would it be kind of obscured enough that she might miss it?
I'll say I'll give you a deception roll.
Okay.
And I'll give you a +3 to it since you're you got a crit on that she thinks you're just another corpse.
Right.
Or no, not deception.
Yeah.
Sleight of hand, because you've got to
Sleight of hand.
Because you've got to quietly, yeah.
Sacred flame. And I'm making the deception or
Sleight of hand.
stealth. Sleight of hand.
Yeah.
Sleight of hand. It's a natural one. Really went max to min on that.
So
And
you
+4. If that helps.
laying lifeless. Hear all this. Just sit right up, throw your hands forward as this flame goes.
Was not
With
worth it.
just a sheer excitement. Or you're still laying dead, but your hands just kind of fire up as you're like
Subtlety.
throwing this flame from your hands as you watch it descend, and instantly her eye locks onto you, and you hear, "You're not dead!" And what's the dexterity? I rolled an 18. Do I pass? Cool. As you lurch forward, throwing your hands,
This was the worst move in my history.
flame descends down as Grinny glances up, seeing this, steps off to the side and goes, "Everything's getting a little heated, but I like it." Bellini,
use
I'm
my-
waiting.
She's scary! I don't like her!
Can I use my movement just to stand up and not be prone
Yes,
anymore?
yes, you definitely can.
Just trying to dust yourself off. All right.
That's
All folks.
you're an interesting one, aren't you?
And now, as this fire's hitting, the more, angry Grinny gets, the more the room is, chanting, the rowdier the drunk people are getting. They are feeding off of the energy. As now it is Fedwin's turn.
Okay. He's gonna activate his Storm Aura. Okay. Bang, bow, bow. Tundra style. Which means that everybody within my aura gains 2 temporary hit points.
So do we all get +2?
Currently, Theo and Polly would get it, but Bellini, you are currently out of sight, so you will not be getting the extra.
Because I'm in a currently very heavily lubed area, I'd like to take my 2 javelins to kind of like get myself out of there, like just keep going, like but backwards because Grinny's coming towards me.
You look like a cross-country skier, just like...
Is there anything else I can do on my turn still?
I'll say that took your movement to get out of
Okay.
the slipperiness. You could still throw a javelin if you wanted to. You
Sure,
could
let's
try
throw a
and get
javelin
out.
at Grinny. This is for you, Sarah!
Roll to hit, please.
18 plus 5.
Definitely hits as this javelin pegs into her shoulder. Roll damage.
5.
5. So you throw this javelin and you see it like plunge deep enough that it almost goes through her shoulder. You even hear it clink off a couple of the spinning daggers behind as it goes in. And she looks and goes, I'm tired of people, and breaks it off, giving me the shaft! Bellini, I'm done waiting!
Oh,
she's
Sarah,
scared.
like, you're fucking comedy tight 5. I don't need this shit right now. We got, like, some serious stuff to deal with. Just like, can you just be serious for a minute? And then I do, like, an extravagant hand gesture. Just, like, for a minute.
Not seeing any of this. The elf that you had landed on finally is trying to shimmy his way and does a similar thing to get up, puts the dagger he has into the ground, and kind of rows himself back into the room. So you see as it just slides into the room through the oil, and is now standing up and spinning, and just throws his dagger at you, Fedwin, as it flies by, as it hits you with 4 damage, just slicing across your inner ribs as you throw this javelin. It looked like the dagger probably would have stuck, but just because you're so slippery, it slid through, adding even a little extra.
Ah, and I thought being lubed up was only an advantage. Ah!
So yeah, you take 4 damage from that. Are you raging or no?
I have to be raging to activate my aura, actually. So yes, I was raging during that time.
Okay. So it would only be 2 damage.
Okay, cool.
And you see as now Grinny is just so impatient. Moments have gone by, but she knows you're there, just getting angry as you see her just wave a hand and a dire wolf finally stands up and starts to charge through. As it's charging forward to you, Polly, it hits this slippery floor and even like sleps off for a second, but catches its ground as it charges forward, leaping forward and just snarling its teeth, just gnashing into your shoulder as this beast digs at you, feeling a pierce of its teeth, just 9 damage digging into your shoulder, just sloughing it off as this wolf is now just staring hungrily at you. The various beasts are now just pacing back and forth, waiting as if they're waiting for a cue. Finally, Theo, it is your turn.
Who's close in front of me? Is there anyone close in front of me?
You see that there is the other orc that still hasn't seen you, who is laying in the puddle of slippery oil.
I'm going to attack with my short sword, and I believe it counts as a sneak attack because they are surprised. And because they have not attacked yet, it counts as a critical hit, if I hit, because of my subclass feature.
So, okay, you draw your short sword.
What happened to the young orc who was looking forward to going to law school? You know?
Rudy? He's doing fine.
That works out to be 30 damage total with the sneak attack and critical.
So, 30 damage. So you being like, looking at this jar of just yolks, wondering how life changed so quickly, pull your short sword and just stare at the orc, and as he makes eye contact, he starts to shake his head like, no, don't do it, and just into his eye, pulling the sword back out as you just see laying in this slippery puddle as rigor mortis takes. It's very awkward as friction would probably keep him in place. You watch him slowly maneuver and slide around as you watch his lifeless body just squirm and shift. Bellini, it is finally your turn.
I'm like still rubbing my temples from Grinny's shit. I think I cast Shatter on her and I don't know, probably the Dire Wolf. I'm gonna twin spell, so that'll be the remaining of my sorcery points. They are going to have to make a Constitution saving throw, DC 14.
Ooh, goody. Constitutions are. Oh, they're not horrible. Grinny rolled a nat 1,
Good.
and the Dire Wolf didn't pass either. So I'm gonna say Grinny takes an extra 2d of whatever it is.
6 plus 8, 14, and then for Grinny, I guess, 14, 9, 23.
As you see this sound, I hear a silent ringing as it erupts in her head. You see as she's in the midst of this transformation and just grabs her head, falling to her knees. Just a shrill crack of sound leaves from her head. And as you see, just her nose starts bleeding from the sheer pain. Even one of the ears starts to let a little blood drip. She just... I'm tired of waiting, Grin. Get in here!
No, Sarah! Come out here! You fucking suck! And then, yeah, I'm gonna bonus action turn some of my first level spell slots into sorcery points.
Perhaps we shouldn't antagonize her. She's closest to me.
You just hear a few clicking noises as if something is readied in the room. Fedwin, you see 2 arrows fired from the top floor at you. Both hitting, these arrows just plunge into you, taking 11 damage, which would be half to 5. As these 2 arrows stick into you, at the other side of the room, behind all the chaos going on, and Grinny, you see as she finally just is starting to build up in anger, as you just hear oh, Grinny, hurry up and finish, we have places to be. And a moment just resolves her.
Who the fuck is this person? I have questions. Bellini is shocked. Intrigue!
Bellini, this is the weirdest to you, is for the first time in all of this, Grinny kind of listens. You see her calm down and wipe the blood off and goes, I'm dealing with something. Bellini, if you don't mind, get in here. This is time sensitive.
I literally have no incentive to do so. Fuck you. Come out here.
As it is finally Grinny's turn, you see she just finally just calms herself, still covered in hair, turns and... If you're not going to come in here, I don't have time for this. And she starts heading to the other side of the room. You see she is frustrated, taking these steps very slowly, but starts moving in the other direction. Frustrated. Polly, it is your turn.
How close am I to Grinny?
About 70 feet now.
Man, she's really far away.
Yeah, this is a very long, mess hall. It would be where the common food would be had.
Did I recognize the other voice?
You recognized the voice. Yes, you did. It didn't sound as anything you've heard in terms of Raven Queen, but it sounded familiar to something the day that you survived the battlefield.
Not okay with that. Okay. Fuck whoever that is. No thank you.
In her frustration, she just turns around and goes, by the way, big one, you forgot this! And she throws a javelin. Just because I'm in range to do so.
Didn't she break the javelin? Like, would that have any impact on how she attacks?
Yeah, she hucks the half of it, and so I will give disadvantage for that. I will say, you're lucky, because I picked disadvantage, thank you for that, Theo, it was not a crit. It was still a hit, but not a crit. As this half javelin is flung at you, as another 3 damage as this javelin just slides in, and as it hits into your shoulder, it's as if it were supposed to stick. The oiled slipperiness just kind of lurches it past, just gashing your shoulder. And in a moment of pain, you feel it as it hits a wound where a book hit you from earlier.
Ah! Dio! Do we have to stop already? Bellini, come out! I keep getting hit.
So, Polly, it is your turn.
Cast Guiding Bolt
It's on Grinny.
I have to make a ranged spell attack. 13?
13 does hit.
What?
Hey!
Yes! 4d6, 18 damage of radiant damage. That is. Oh, and the next attack roll made against her has advantage because there is a dim light glittering on her.
As this bolt hits her in the shoulder, and she starts to kind of like sparkle and shimmer, she turns around and goes, "Darling, I don't need the glam to be able to do what I need."
I just thought you might want to get rid of some of that extra hair. Very unsightly, you know, for a woman.
I like to go all natural in my hairy situations.
That's right, you're your own woman!
Well, I'm sorry, Sari. You're getting a little hairy.
There's nothing wrong with the bits of hair on a woman.
Fedwin, it is your turn.
Okay, I'd like to throw, can I throw 2 javelins at her? 2 hands?
I think you've only got 1 attack right now, so no.
Okay, then yeah, I'd like to huck another javelin at her. I rolled a 13.
That does hit.
Yay! Okay, I'm gonna kill her now. So that's 5.
Alright, so yeah, you throw this javelin as she starts walking away, and it pegs her in the shoulder. And she just turns around and goes, "Sticks and stones, you know. Getting real tired of it."
They'll break your bones. But please don't throw it back at me.
As the elf that's standing in front of you finally unsheathes a short sword and starts running at you and just swings deep into you, Fedwin, as that was almost a crit.
What elf?
The one that was in the doorway that was...
Oh, right. That guy. Yeah. I was thinking about the orc.
As he takes his short sword and just plunges into you as you feel 4 damage, and it would have been a true strike that dug deep, but just slipped with the oil as you take another 3 damage. Finally, this direwolf turns its attention from Polly and goes to bite Fedwin, lurching its teeth, but not knowing, just bites down on your wooden leg and is now just like gnarling and like angrily biting as though it's hit its target until it realizes that it's just bit a wooden plank.
Drop it. Drop it.
Guys, can we keep him?
And as Grinny makes it past, you see this giant-looking frog and this black bear are now just standing in front, more guarding Grinny than anything. As it is your turn, Theo.
Okay, how far is Grinny from me?
All the way on the other side of the room. She is about 70 feet, or for you, it'd be 60 feet away.
Okay, I'm going to run and try to attack with my short sword drawn and just like slide across the egg yolks and hopefully stab into someone who isn't my ally.
Can you roll me a dex check, please, as you lunge your way across this room?
I rolled Garbaggio. I rolled a total of 6.
So you, thinking you're going to do the smart thing and do like a fencing lunge, that'll be momentum on the egg yolks, but you didn't expect them to be this slippery. Can you now roll me a attack at disadvantage as you're like wobbling back and forth trying to catch your balance?
That's gonna be 14, and at disadvantage, that's gonna be a 8.
So yeah, you slide and you go to stab, but as you lunge forward, your foot slides further and you go into more of a power squat as your dagger goes lower than his. Yeah, as this elf sees you slide and you kind of more bump into him and are like sliding across and are more adjacent to him than anything now, missing him completely. He doesn't really like, he's more just confused by everything of just what happened. Bellini, it is your turn.
Okay. I think a bonus action gonna drink my other health pot because I'm still only at 10, and that's probably a good call. 17. I could take maybe a hit. How visible can I get if I just use my full movement to like get to the highest point and just like...
So you'd have to run around the corner. I'd say you could probably get within, like, what's your movement speed again?
15.
You could get into the doorway.
I get into the doorway, I think, because I think they've got this direwolf fit.
Cool, can you make me a dex save?
Absolutely. Yeah, dirty 20.
Dirty 20. So yeah, you kind of slip and slide jump and like do the cool pose as you slide into the room on these egg yolks.
I do a flourish at the end, of course. And then I'm gonna actually
Roll
use
me
my
a performance check.
Oh, of course. Oh no. It's 13. It's 13.
So yeah, you slide in, kind of do a little hop and land with jazz hands, and you see some of the like drunken patrons who are now watching this. Just a few clap, a few applaud. You even just hear, "I give it a 6."
Thank you, strangers! And then I magic missile Grinny.
Oh yes, I need you to do a wild magic surge as well.
Yes, actually, I think I owe you one for the other turn before as well. So I got a 4, 3, and 3. And wild magic. Sorry, I also just remembered that I didn't roll one for the turn before. So that's 33. So maximize the damage of the next damaging spell you cast within the next minute. Oh, I guess magic missile does 4, 4, 4. So 49. Which is... Or sorry, yeah, 49. You can't speak for the next minute. Whenever you try, pink bubbles float out of your mouth.
That's a very Bellini thing to have happen, so...
That means you won't be able to do anything that requires a verbal component. So as you, doing magic missile, sliding through, when you're supposed to do your usual ta-da, bubbles start foaming out of your mouth. And you just see from the distance, "Oh, Bellini, I've missed your bubbly personality. It's good to see ya."
I flip her off while being a rabies rabbit. I'm a full like a rabies rodent, flipping her off just super casually.
And that is your turn. And as you slide in, you hear the cocking of crossbows as you see from the platform again, just a as two are firing at Bellini.
What are they, archers or something?
As only one hits Bellini. As Bellini, you take 4 damage. And one fires at Fedwin, as that one misses. And the last one fires at Theo, who is finally in sight, as you take another 3 damage, as javelins are just fired from the rooftops. As it is finally Grinny's turn, and as she finally makes an eye contact with you, after making her pun, it finally clicks in her head. I see Bellini. I've missed this. As soon as that happens, you see Grinny like makes her pun, starts laughing about it, and then something clicks. You see something is finally snapped in her brain that he's finally fucking here. I see Bellini. I've been waiting for this. So as she starts to try and eventually turn, you even hear that voice again. Grinny, I'm waiting.
Every time that voice talks, can I make like an insight check or a history check or something to see if I can remember who the fuck it is?
Yes. Make a history check with advantage.
Okay, I got a natural 1 and a 10, and I'm a +0.
I know that voice. I know that voice. Why do I know that voice? I live alone. I don't know many voices, but you know it.
Perhaps it's a voice from
And
inside my head. No. How would they hear it? Wait, do they hear it? You lot, do you hear that voice? You do hear it.
Just bubbles foaming out.
Huh. Not a voice from inside my head.
As this voice rings out, finally Bellini goes,
Hey, old man, maybe ask the other voices in your head if they hear it too.
As that voice rings out, you see Grinny turn around and go, "It can wait!" And finally this long snout grows and this anger in its eyes and the bleeding stops and you even see the scars are more molding over. Fully in this form, you see the best hybrid of wolf and Fedwin. You think this is the result of a happy marriage between the loving of a wolf and a human.
I suppose she truly is a bitch now.
Oh, get the loop! Theo, get the loop!
As you see this thing on all fours, charges forward, finally leaping into the air as landing finally in his grasp. Bellini, you feel these heavy claws and you hear, "Bellini, I've missed you!"
I regret nothing.
As these claws dig deep into you, feeling just 4 points of damage as these claws go. It shreds me to hold you so closely, finally.
I'm actively trying to get bubbles on her hands. Just covering myself in the bubbles. I nibble at her hands like I'm trying to give her rabies.
You should act super crazy, like you're like,
And as you do that, she kind of pulls you closer and just, whatever you've got, I want.
Gonorrhea?
That sounds awfully obsessive. Oh dear. You've got to be happy with yourself, Sarah, before you can...
You know, Sarah, I think our friend Fedwin caught something from his horse girlfriend, if you would like that.
Yeah, if you want to see below the belt, be warned. It's got a couple of warts now, but our cleric is taking a look at it. But yeah, I can give you that. It'll blister for a while, and you know, you don't want anything Bellini has. I can give you things. And might I say, was it the father or the mother which was the wolf? Because I'd really like to know how you made the relationship work. You see, I did have a relationship with my girlfriend. She was a horse, and it didn't really last very long.
Fedwin just always monologues.
And then, as you say that, she kind of looks up and goes, one bite's all it takes, and let me promise, you'll be liking it.
Hey! Oh, I get it. Yeah, she's a werewolf, mates.
Polly, it is your turn.
And Grinny must now be within striking range because Bellini wasn't that far in the room from what I remember.
Correct. You would have to move across the slippery surface and be within striking range.
If I carefully move across, how much would it reduce my movement speed?
I'll say if you take your time, it would half your movement speed.
And how far is it to Grinny?
About 15 feet, so you could make it.
I'll accept it. As soon as I get across the slippery, I would like to take 1 or 2 firmer steps, and my goal is to hopefully knock her off of Bellini, if possible. And I'm gonna maybe bash kind of with my shield, but also stab with my sword. Can I do that? Like...
I will say you'll get at most a shove with that way if you're gonna stab as well. So you watch as Polly musters up all this courage, lifts the shield, draws the sword, and kind of awkwardly shuffles like you're apologizing to someone who just mopped a perfect floor, but you still have to walk by it. As you finally go, and with those final 2 steps, you slam into her, and do you want to roll me that?
3.
She's doing her best.
You shuffle forward, and you see you are clear of the
terrible.
egg whites, but take 1 step into the pink bubbly substance leaving Bellini's mouth. With a bit of a slip of your foot, you kind of more land on her, giving a shove, but you didn't expect such a hairy woman to have such strength as she kind of shoves you off more than anything.
So Polly's just bouncing off?
Yeah. As you hear, just she looks and goes, "Shove off, old man."
Well, excuse me. I'm not the one on the floor.
Well, excuse me. I don't have time for you.
But you have time for him, please.
We've got a deep-rooted backstory.
I thought you were a busy woman with important things to do, much too concerned with her newfound power to worry about a small little, what is he even, a squirrel? A green squirrel. And it would be so easy for you to kill him. Is it even worth it? Is it? Would you feel proud of yourself? Do you think these men would respect you more? I think not. Men, if I go and kill a baby, would you respect me? No, I would be a monster. You would want nothing to do with me. And that is what your leader is doing now. How could you even follow someone so absurd, so lacking in any, restraint or any moral code, so lacking in any kind of rigidity?
Exactly, she's trying to kill our green baby.
Fedwin, it is your turn.
Okay. Can I put an arm of Grinny's out of commission?
You could try.
I want to specifically go for like the elbow and kind of make it go like and like slough off.
Roll to hit.
Ooh, 19 plus 5.
Definitely hits. Roll me your damage.
Ooh, yay. Okay, so that wouldn't be much. It's a warhammer, so 1d8 plus 3. Okay, 1d8.
That is a hefty 1d8. I need positivity here.
That's a 1d8 plus 3. Okay, give me a sec. 8 plus 3.
It'd actually be plus 5, plus 2 from raging.
Oh yeah, that too.
So you, seeing your friend in danger, slam down, and with this loud thud over the crowd just being into all of this, you can tell none of them are entering this fight. You can tell that they know when Grinny's got a target not to mess. You hear a loud audible crack as you see this elbow collapse underneath the pain, and you just hear hitting the funny bone.
Aw, she's funny even when she's in horrible pain.
And you see just various pain as this arm is more sloughed off and the hand's more grasping Bellini, just because that's the place where it was before you slammed down than anything. But you see that arm is more out of commission than anything. Finally, this elf turns around and takes a flanking position, so he will get advantage as he tries to attack you, Fedwin. Does a 14 hit you, Fedwin?
I have a 14 armor class.
So you, in your rage, as you pull the hammer back going in for another swing, actually hit the sword out of the way in sheer like prowess of combat instinct, as it just deflects off, and he turns around and tries to hit Theo with his backlash. As the 17 hit you, Theo.
Direct hit.
As you take 7 damage as he kind of flourishes around and slashes at you. So you're taking 7 damage.
Ooh, that's a lot of damage.
It is. You see these animals are finally taking place as this giant bear loafs itself up and just starts charging forward. It goes to slam into you, Fedwin, but just barely misses, sliding across. Egg whites, never saw it coming, slides past you all, leading to the frogs as one of them gets it close enough, lurches its tongue out at Theo. It does try and grapple you, so can you make me a dex save?
With all my modifiers, I rolled a 16.
How big is this frog?
Yeah, you were good. As it lashes its tongue out, just barely missing, doesn't even do damage, you feel it, the wind of its tongue moistly graze across your face as it's trying to reach at you. Theo, your turn.
With my short sword drawn, I'm going to try to cut off the frog's tongue before it can hit me.
Alright, roll to hit.
Does a 11 hit?
No. As this sword in slow motion arcs up, the tongue in normal speed latches back. You have not cut off the frog's tongue. Bellini, it is your turn as you're now gripped in a less tight grip of Grinny, speaking bubbles. What would you like to do?
I mean, can I exfiltrate myself from her hands? Just get out of there? Just, like,
Wait,
leave?
but if you surge again, maybe something will happen that might help you.
Oh, you are right. Okay. Fuck it. You know what? Polly's a healer. Come at me, I guess. Subtle spell, and then I'm gonna go, Witch Bolt this time. 18?
18 does hit, yes.
Okay, cool. So she takes 7 damage.
Alright, wild magic surge, please.
Wild magic surge time, baby. Oh, 4? What the hell does 4 give me? For the next minute, you can see any invisible creature if you have line of sight to it. Neat.
So you, sending out this wave of energy, bubbles of flourishing, these bubbles kind of burst out as a green energy fires out from you, hitting Grinny in the face as you watch it clear off one of her eyes as there's this now just witch bolt and green necrotic energy just covering her eye. And you wave out this energy as you surge again as this pulse goes out and nothing changes. There's no invisible creatures.
Cool. Can I use my movement to get out of her hands then?
You can try. You want to roll me a strength check against hers?
Yes. Bellini's jacked, yo. I got a 5. Wait. Oh, Tides of Chaos again. So, advantage.
Yeah, but roll me another wild magic surge too.
Oh no, that was worse. I got I got 4. And I get to search. Oh, I got 82. Oh, you can take an additional turn immediately. What? Bellini flips her off again.
Cool. Go ahead.
Okay, well, which
Still
will just
holding tight
happens
with one arm,
because
the
I've
other
hit her
slack.
once, so it's a concentration. Fucking 1. Yeah, eat it, Grinny.
This one more just kind of grazes off her jaw.
And then I'm just like fuming, and then I'm gonna bonus action kill one of my 1 first level spells to get another sorcery point, I guess.
Various arrows are now firing off in random directions. 2 at Fedwin. I rolled a 1 and a 2, so you see one of them fires their crossbow and trying to reload actually drops it over the edge. The other 2 firing off both hit Theo though. Theo, you feel 2 bolts peg into your shoulder only for 5 damage total. And it is finally Grinny's turn. Grinny raging again, getting angry. You feel the grip tighten. You hear, "Grinny, it's time to go!" And you see her look at the door in anger and look back at you and just picks you up and starts just running to the door, charging through. You see her lurch through this door, these animals finally concaving in themselves.
Don't we get a tax of thingamabob? Opportunity, that's the word.
Yes, you would.
Got 8.
You can't hit. Fedwin, you would get an attack of opportunity as well.
I'll swing with my warhammer. 10.
Does not hit as you swing down with the loud cacophony of a thud of hammer just waving out, watching as even a mahogany floorboard cracks under the weight.
Not the mahogany!
It's my turn, right?
Yes, it would be your turn.
Can I catch up?
You can try.
How far have they gone?
Grinny looks about 80 feet away. She's actually gotten into the room. She went across the mess hall and into that door where the voice is originating from, which also I need you to roll me that history check.
13.
It's sounding more familiar. The voice, you're almost placing it. Oh, you can't put a face to it. You know it.
Oh, this is driving me crazy. I'm gonna cast Guiding Bolt again on Grinny. 16.
16 does hit.
So I got 2, 2, and 4. That's 8. And 2, which is 10.
So you watch as this bolt corners around with her, and Bellini, you see as she is charging, moving forward, moving quickly, faster than you've seen anyone move. Even animals would be reveled with the speed. As this bolt comes, Grinny last minute turns to look, and as she throws an arm up to try and block it, you watch as this limb severs itself, the arm landing flat. As Grinny is now holding you with one hand, blood is spurting as she is just sprinting, now having to stick to 2 legs. Still alive, though.
Can I just use the movement part of my action to follow? It's just 35 feet.
Bedwin, it is your turn.
Ooh, okay. Well, I'd like to also try and catch up to Grinny.
Yeah, no, the only thing that might get an attack of opportunity is the frog. So he would miss. So this frog is lashing out as you are now clearing this group. You see, though, now that some of the rowdy people are realizing that this is an intense moment and are starting to see the fierceness that's happening.
How far is the frog from me? And also, is this like a were-frog? What size is it in comparison to Fedwin?
It is a medium-sized.
Okay. So, can Fedwin grapple the frog?
You could grapple the frog.
Okay, like, what I'm saying is, I want to see if you'll let me grapple the frog. If I am successful doing so, I want to, like, squeeze him to the point that the tongue comes out, and then that kind of, like, catches Grinny's legs because it's sticky, and then kind of brings her back.
It's too far for that.
No, then I'd run towards her with the frog.
You wouldn't be able to. Grinny is 80 feet ahead of you.
Can I try killing the frog, I guess?
Sure.
I'm gonna try and kill the frog Warhammer style, just complete splat.
Okay.
You know, side of the road traffic sort of thing. Oh no. 8.
So you, slamming the hammer down, you watch as this frog kind of jumps up, so the hammer just barely misses it, and now it's kind of more resting on the hammer than anything. This elf speaks, waving his hand in the air and goes, "Don't let them leave, boys!"
Meat's back on the menu.
This elf now tries to fight with you again, Theo, missing as he swings down though. And finally this bear gets up, finally charges again, trying to hit Polly. I rolled 2 2s. Motherfucker.
Polly is the most nimble and evasive.
Polly, hearing this bear charge, focused on the voice, thinking, I don't have time for this, kind of throws him over with the shield, so he's now lofted into a crowd of enemies. You see this mustered strength, unsure how it's happening. All while Polly doesn't realize, you're just going, no, I don't know it from here, I don't know it from here, where the fuck do I know it? As this frog, leaning on your hammer, leaps a tongue out, latching onto your face. Can you do me a strength check, Fedwin?
11.
So 11 total. You watch as this frog's tongue kind of takes your face and just pulls itself forward as you are now feeling like you're about to be swallowed by this thing, as you take 5 damage as you're within its stomach, but it's more so everyone else. You just see a frog replacing Fedwin's head.
Get it off! Get it off!
As it is now Theo's turn.
I'm going to use my roguish ability for the bonus action dash to get eyeline on Grinny, and then I'm going to shoot her in the face with my bow.
Alright, roll to hit.
That's going to be a total of 17.
That definitely hits. Y'all are stressing me out.
And damage-wise, total of 16.
16 total. You can tell that she is running she's realized she has lost this fight. She's running as if she's close. She knows that this isn't a battle to be won, and she has places to be. Theo, as you bolt around this corner, you fire this arrow. You looking into this room, you see there is what looks to be a towering 10-foot tall being covered in various scribes and various written, and by just recollection, the various scars and tomes and tattoos carved into this being's features is similar to the writing in the books that you have found. And as you are seeing this, you glance even further and you see what looks this very weird scribed, similar writing again on the ground is now pulsating with energy similar to what was flickering on your ring of the Raven Queen, Polly.
Do I want the wild magic surge or not? Do I go for a spell?
Do it.
Okay, fine, fuck it. Okay, so subtle spell again, so I can negate the bubbles effects, and then I'm gonna just magic missile because it just does damage. So that's 4, 3.
11. Alright, can I get a wild magic surge, please?
It's 81. That means I get another immediate turn. I'm not even kidding. 81 and 82. Those are I've gotten both of those. Tom, I'm so sorry.
You, in just sheer anger, thrashing, you're watching these auras just fire into her face. Even a couple are hitting that now new bloody just arm.
I have no more sorcery points, so this last one is going to be that witch bolt that I still have ongoing. So she takes 4 damage.
So, Bellini and Theo, as you're watching this, Grinny finally makes her way down this hallway, finally stands on that ring, and energy begins to pulse, and you see as these runes on this massive tome being begin to glow and fissure. And Polly, you have that ring on, or is it like on your neck, or how is this ring?
It's like in my pocket. It's one very close to my person.
You feeling on your side, you feel this ring shimmering and vibrating, and you see a white glow coming from it as this is now fissuring and... Yes?
As I see it happen, can I try to put the ring on, just kind of out of curiosity?
Yes, you can. So everyone is within 30 feet of you, yes? I'll say everyone's within 30 feet, because Fedwin moved forward. Everyone is within that range. Now my next question is, are you all willing creatures? For the sheer sake of my own sanity, yes, you're all consenting. Bellini, you realizing that you are now far from your party, watching this tome, this large tome of a man is now glowing as the ground is glowing in a dark purple aura, as this pillar of light is growing around you. Theo, you glancing around, unsure what is happening. This is farther than you've ever expected. Look back to see Polly's ring doing a similar color. Finally, the shaky old man, fearful of what's about to happen, giving faith into his god, puts the ring on. You see this purple smoke begin to bellow out from either side of his finger, filling and engulfing him, slowly moving and evaporating around as it gathers up the feet. Feeling this smoke, you are now clouded. Bedwin, you have no clue what's going on because your head is currently consumed by a frog. The little cracks of the frog's mouth, you see purple smoke filling in as all of this is happening. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is where I'm ending the session. You can reach us at our Gmail, diceguyscritlast@gmail.com. Instagram is dice_guys_crit_last. Our SoundCloud is diceguyscritlast. We're eventually going to be probably starting a Twitch. Don't worry about that one yet. Twitter is diceguyscritlast, capital D, capital G, capital C, capital L. YouTube is Dice Guys Crit Last. If you want to reach out and tell us how much you love it or hate it or what you think of everything, reach out to us at these locations. We will be keeping an eye on it. And once again, thank you for taking the time to listen to our podcast, and we will see you next time at the table.